Cabinet Office and shall be responsible in accordance with such instructions as may be given to him by the Prime Minister for the supervision of any department of the government for which the Prime Minister has.
This is the ZNS Network, providing radio and high-definition television services for the entire Bahamas. ZNS Network is operated by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. It is located at Harcourt Rusty Bethel Drive, Centerville, Nassau. Our programming is designed to inform, educate, and entertain. We invite you to join us.
The following is a preamble of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Whereas 481 years ago, the rediscovery of this family of islands, rocks and keys, heralded the rebirth of the New World. And whereas the people of this family of islands, recognizing that the preservation of their freedom will be guaranteed by a national commitment to self-discipline, industry, loyalty, unity, and an abiding respect for Christian values and the rule of law. Now, know we therefore, we the inheritors of and successors to this family of islands, recognizing the supremacy of God and believing in the fundamental rights and freedoms of the individual, do hereby proclaim in solemn praise the establishment of a free and democratic sovereign nation, founded on spiritual values, and in which no man, woman, or child shall ever be slave or bondsman to anyone, or their labor exploited, or their lives frustrated by deprivation, and do hereby provide by these articles for the indivisible unity and creation under God of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
It's Monday, January 31st, 2022, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, another COVID-related death reported, downtown Nassau buzzing with activity, parking at LPIA going cashless, and primary school students learning how to farm. So let's start the morning off right.
Edition is brought to you by We Buy, You Sell Company, your leading hurricane impact windows, doors, and tile specialist.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning edition. I'm Jiminita Swain.
It's so great to have you in my company. I'm such a lucky fella. When it's not LaDawn, it's Kelsey, and now it's Jiminita. Must be the luckiest fella in the world here at the BCB.
Luck happens once in a while, so today I concur with you on that one.
Good to have you getting out of bed in this cold weather.
Very
I know
early.
You were dreading saying, wow, I have to get up in this weather. A lot of people's water bill went down this weekend.
Yeah, I think it was a touch-and-go situation, but I took a full shower, freshed up, no touch-and-go situation for me, so we're all
Well,
good
it's
to
nice
go.
to have you here on the morning edition for another two to 3 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, they told me.
And as usual, it's cold on the outside. Desmond Sanders is out there with our traffic to see how things are starting off the week. Good morning, Des. How was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend was just spectacular. Things are heating up here. I'm on George and Bay Streets and want to encourage motorists as you head out to pay attention to the traffic signals, the traffic stops, the signs. They're very, very important that you do that. Joining me on the broadcast this morning, Corporal Patrick Camp, who tells me that there were over 16 or just about 16 accidents overnight. Very, very serious concern for traffic police.
That's correct. And good morning, Desmond. Good morning, Bahamas. We have had about a total reported accident of 16 for the island of New Providence. And that is a concern. Like I stated before, one accident is one too many. 16 is a concern. It shows that a lot of these incidents that took place don't have to. Persons would just drive with due care and attention. Be responsible when you come on the street and you're traveling to your various destinations.
What are some of the particular concerns or specific concerns on this thoroughfare here? Traffic remains top on the agenda.
Well, in the downtown area, one of the major concerns that we would have in this area, and the officers down here do a pretty good job in trying to keep some type of order in this area, and that'd be mostly parking, persons parking in the loading zones and what's not. I want to say, especially to those tractor heads that are taking those long containers, when you're making those turns, be mindful of the persons that may be to your right. When making those turns, all right? You don't want to squeeze together. You don't want to squeeze alongside another vehicle. And then at the same time, I want to say to those other smaller vehicles, those drivers, exercise common sense. Okay, if you know you're riding alongside a truck and the curve is coming up, you want to slow down and allow that truck to make their way because you don't want to get cornered on the side of those big vehicles.
Corporal Patrick Camp joining us live on the broadcast. Frigid, cold temperatures on the outside, as you can say. See, I'm appropriately dressed for the weather, and we're going to send it back to Jimmy and Charles Fisher, where things are much warmer at ZNS. Back to you guys.
Desmond, all wrap up from head to toe. We are getting up to 64 degrees this morning. Partly sunny. It was a cold weekend. Winds northeast at 6 miles per hour. Humidity now 55%. Now, a stalled frontal boundary will continue to support some cloudiness across portions of the central and southeast Bahamas, while a high-pressure system centered near the South Florida dominates the weather pattern elsewhere today. For the northwest Bahamas, weather partly sunny and mild today, fair and chilly tonight. Central and southeast Bahamas, weather partly to mostly cloudy and a bit breezy, with a chance of a few isolated showers today. Mostly fair and cool with a few stray showers mainly across the southeast Bahamas tonight. Your daytime high temperature 73. Last night it was 52. Tonight it will be 61. And as we look ahead to Tuesday and Wednesday, mostly cloudy and breezy, but still some chill in the air. 75 in the day, 59 at night. And then on Wednesday, the same, wind subsiding here and there, 78 in the day, 66 at night.
The latest release from the Ministry of Health confirming another COVID-related death, a 45-year-old New Providence woman who passed away on January 25th. This takes the overall count now to 746, with an additional 44 deaths remaining under investigation. There are also 26 new COVID infections reporting, split equally between men and women. 20 of those cases here in New Providence, 2 each on Eleuthera and Exuma, and 1 case apiece on Grand Bahama and Abaco. 14 of those cases have a travel history within the past 14 days. Hospitalizations are at 118, with 9 of those listed in the intensive care unit. There have been 20 new recoveries. 7,134 cases remain active. Despite the ongoing pandemic, downtown Nassau buzzing with activity this weekend as visitor numbers continue to trend in an upward direction. And this is good news for local vendors.
Today, everything is going excellent. Everything is busy. A lot of persons walking, a lot of persons shopping, because sometimes they're just walking. It's a slow season. They would walk, but they won't shop. So right now, today, it's busy both ways. I'm definitely hoping from here on out, things would pick up and it would stay in the busy season.
Since the start of the pandemic, travel protocols globally have undergone a number of changes, affecting literally millions of airline and cruise travelers. And while those changes are intended to ensure improved health conditions, keeping countries on the offensive against COVID-19, some industries have taken a serious hit. President of the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Association, Robert Sands, argues that while travelers are forgiving, evolving entry requirements spells bad news to resorts and other lodging facilities as group bookings continue to be impacted.
We need to get to a position whereby we are on a projection that we are sort of constant rather than changing, because it has an impact in the source markets. Airlines and different persons become confused as to what are the current arrangements to enter into a country. And also some of the requirements can become onerous on the traveling public. The level 4 gives individuals the opportunity for cancellations. And yes, they've taken advantage of that. And it's at different levels and different properties. As you begin to improve, they reduce you to a particular category. If those numbers continue to get better and they hold at a particular level for at least 14 days, then I think we can then see the CDC upgrading the Bahamas from a 4 to a 3 and then possibly getting back to a level 2.
If you're traveling soon, be prepared for a major change at the Lyndon Pindling International Airport. Starting today, the airport's parking services will be completely digitized, transitioning all operations to a cashless environment. Our collection clerks that staff the parking facility booths have undergone training, and their role will be most important as they remain on the front line to assist customers. This change to a cashless environment does not impact their employment with us. We need them now more than ever to ensure there is a human touch and that we can continue to provide efficient service to the public. Move to cashless transactions is a worldwide phenomenon that we note, and we note the recent move to cashless transactions by Bahamas Air, our largest air carrier. A number of other carriers have been cashless for some time. The decision to go cashless was inspired by our concern for the safety of our team members with handling large volumes of cash. We do not want this risk, and we're doing all we can to create the safest work environment possible. We want our facilities to be accessible to everyone. And to ensure this, we have conveniently installed island pay machines in safe and convenient locations inside the airport terminal where cash can easily be placed in the machine and converted into a MasterCard debit card. And Governor General, His Excellency the Most Honorable Sir Cornelius A. Smith, welcoming British High Commissioner Her Excellency Sarah Dixon and Royal Navy ship HMS Medway's commanding officer Captain Chris Hollingworth, along with Lieutenant Colonel Simon Westlake. The meeting comes on the heels of Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee this year, set for February 6th across the Commonwealth. The event marks the 70th anniversary of her reign.
Fixed and mobile services provided by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions helps our customers help their customers adapt to the new way of paying for things. Digital Wallets makes your transactions faster, more convenient, and secure. Whether it's using a debit card at the grocery store or making online payments for your monthly expenses, Digital Wallets powered by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions makes it better. For more information on our fixed and mobile services, contact the experts at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
We Buy You Sell offers the best in impact windows and doors. The first line of defense in protecting your home and family with premium designs and affordable pricing. We can make your dream home a reality. We also stock a wide variety of tiles such as porcelain, mosaic, and plank tiles. We offer the lowest rates in the country. Located at number 163 Robinson Road. Call 677-2856 or 324-6427. We Buy You Sell. Come and see us today.
The Life for Key Foundation has disbursed more than $50 million in the Bahamian community since 1969. And to talk more about its scholarship program, we are joined live via Zoom by Executive Director Dr. Nicola Virgil-Rule. Welcome to the Morning Edition, Dr. Rule. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, first of all, can you just tell us a little bit more about the Foundation's scholarship program?
Well, the Life for Key Scholarship program has been in existence since the 1980s. We were first a grant-making organization starting in 1969, and then realized that really education was critical for a more prosperous Bahamas. And so in the 1980s, we began with a scholarship program, providing scholarships abroad. We also supported the College of the Bahamas, now the University of the Bahamas as well, so we support students locally. But, our flagship product has been our international scholarships. And so over the years, we have grown through endowments, our scholarship program, and today is the day before the launch of our scholarship season. So I'm so happy to be here to remind students that it's time to think about the Life for Key Scholarship program.
So, Dr. Virgil-Rule, tell us a little bit about the types of scholarships. Are they just academic? Are they technical based? What types of scholarships do the program cover?
Yes, so we offer three main types of scholarships. So we have academic scholarships, and within the academic, there are two types. We have undergraduate, so for persons seeking bachelor's degrees, they must be seeking four-year scholarships. And so we have that. You have to have at least 1 year left in your academic career for the undergraduate scholarship to be available to you. We also offer academic scholarships for graduate work. So people who have finished their BA degrees now and looking for master's degrees or PhDs. And so that's another academic scholarship. But equally as important is that we have technical scholarships as well. And so we do offer for skills training, technical scholarships, vocational scholarships abroad as well. And so we're very happy to have that amongst the menu of things that we offer.
And how does one apply for the scholarships? Basically, and when is the deadline?
So the portal opens tomorrow. And for stage one, we have until 15th of March, so you have quite a bit of time. Everything is done online. You go to our website, www.lifeforkeyfoundations, that's with an S.org, and everything is then done online. You will put in your basic information as a short eligibility quiz, which will help to screen you for the types of scholarships that you may be available for. And then you have until March 15th to get that first stage done. And then for successful candidates, they will be invited to stage 2, where there's a little bit more in-depth screening, looking at the schools, and you'll put in all of your information. But you come to us, importantly, with your college acceptances, your college choices, your academic majors that you are looking for, and that helps us to really begin to screen your application, and to see what you may be eligible for.
And obviously, I imagine that so many applicants apply for these scholarships annually. So how do you assess them to ensure who gets what type of scholarship?
It is quite competitive. Each year we have somewhere around 400 to 600 students applying. And so it is quite a very competitive scholarship program. Now, we look first and foremost for financial need. We are a needs-based scholarship program. And so we want to understand if you have the real financial need for the scholarship. But of course, we also have to consider academic merit as well. So we want to make sure that the students we choose can successfully complete their courses of study. We look at the field of study, and we try to match that with our national needs in the country. We look at the reputation of the institution you've chosen, your career goal. We also look at whether the choice you've made in terms of your academic field is available in the Bahamas. And so that's also an important consideration for us. And then we look also at your financial capacity. We realize that our scholarship ranging from 15 to 30,000 covers only part of the cost of attending college in many cases. And so we want to make sure that you have a good financial plan to cover the rest. And then, of course, we look at personal qualities, leadership skills, things like that, those really intangibles that will distinguish you as a future Life for Key scholar.
Wonderful. Again, special thanks to Executive Director Dr. Nicola Berger-Rowe for joining us on the Morning Edition. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having us.
Educators at a local school introducing innovative farming methods, allowing them to grow their own foods. Our Desmond Sanders explains.
Some 1,000 students at the Sadie Curtis School, Pinewood Gardens, now being exposed to greenhouse farming. Students can now grow crops in a sheltered structure, get hands-on experience in crop cultivation, conservation, harvesting, and water resource management. The project's brainchild is a member of Parliament for Nassau Village, Jamal Strawn.
Early on in the campaign, I spoke about food security within the Nassau Village constituency. So immediately upon assumption of my duties, I reached out to the minister, Sweeting, at the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Science, and I said that if he should happen upon any greenhouses, I would definitely like for them to be donated or have my institution considered the first institution to be recipient of a greenhouse, and it just matriculated in advance from there.
The greenhouse located on the school's campus took 3 days to erect. Sadie Curtis becomes the first public institution within Nassau Village to benefit from this farming initiative, thanks to the Ministry of Agriculture and the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation. BAIC representative Christoph Mitchell constructed the greenhouse.
Blood, sweat, and tears in such a short time frame. These were donated to the Bahamas government in sections. They're not put together like in a box, so you have to go into the warehouse and put it all together yourself, and you bring it down here. The hardest part was constructing the roof, and once we got the roof put up, the curve, then we were able to put the plastic over it. I think it's a fun experience for the children, considering what we've been through in the past 2 years with the pandemic and everything, and people are learning more to grow their own foods.
With food security a major concern globally, the school's principal and Jamal Strawn believes the project's launch is both timely and crucial.
It's not quite finished, but at the conclusion, once it's completely done, we'll be introducing vertical farming for the primary school itself. That should generate approximately $1,500 per month worth of produce for, of course, the school to benefit from in their various programs, initiatives, and scholarships.
I believe it will have a tremendous impact on students, more so teachers. I have teachers already signing up. They want to be coordinators of the greenhouse. They want to be working with the greenhouse, and so children are excited about this initiative.
From farm to fork, a valuable lesson for students that will last a lifetime.
A leading clergyman calling for more to be done to celebrate our national heroes at a Progressive Liberal Party forum. Rector of St. Gregory's Anglican Church, Canon Sebastian Campbell, said the level of appreciation and recognition that country gives to those who helped build the Bahamas needs to increase.
It is absolutely indispensable to the growth of any nation to know the heroes, to celebrate them. And I wonder how come the Bahamas is so far back. When we look at Barbados, for example, they have a super life-size statue of the father of the nation, Errol Barrow. They have an Errol Barrows Day. When we look at Antigua, they have a super life-size statue of Rare Bird. Jamaica, Trinidad, all these places have heroes parks and days to venerate their heroes. The list goes on. In the Bahamas, I don't know why we are dragged behind.
Well, Canon Campbell has been on the front line for decades, agitating for a system of national honors. While he says significant strides have been achieved, he feels the legacies of luminaries should be preserved and safeguarded for generations.
Well, thank God we have, after 20-some years, we have achieved the holiday. All right, that was paramount. We have a Heroes Day now, and we have a Majority Rule Day. I think we need one more day, though. We need a Lyndon Pinlan's Day as a holiday, as the father of the modern-day Bahamas. Also, with that, we need to look again at the way we honor people, and I hope that this government is bold enough and brave enough to abolish the Colonials Awards.
As we head to the break, we take a look back at today in Bahamian history. On January 31st, 1979, Pope John Paul II arrived for a visit, which included a service at the Queen Elizabeth Sports Center. Also on this day in 1998, the Jubilee Gardens housing subdivision was officially opened.
ZNS Kids Club. My name is Kyle Jones. I go to one-on-one preschool and I love watching the ZNS Kids Club. Hi, I'm Toronto Fairview Academy and I love watching the ZNS Kids Club.
Back to the morning edition. I'm Desmond Saunders, and this morning I'm reporting to you live from Pompey Museum here on George Street. After 2 years of closure, the Pompey Museum will be opening up its doors. Now, for most of you that are not aware, this place was a marketplace for enslaved persons. Joining me this morning on the broadcast, Dr. Christopher Curry, who's the director of the Antiquities, Monuments, and Museum Corporation of the Bahamas. Good morning, sir. And first of all, let's talk about the historical value of Pompey Museum.
Well, first of all, it was originally called Vendu House, and it's a pre-loyalist building. It's probably the oldest structure on Bay Street. It dates back to 1767. So then in itself is one of the reasons why it's a really important building. And then, of course, it was the marketplace, the place where chattel, enslaved persons were bartered and sold, auctioned in many instances. And so the value of the building is now it is turned into a museum named after a heroic enslaved person by the name of Pompey, celebrating his achievements in resisting slavery along with others that were inspired really by him. And so we have a museum of enslavement and emancipation here on Bay Street, and it's open to the public for the first time in 2 years. And we would love to have visitors, Bahamians and otherwise tourists coming in and looking at what we have in the museum.
And let's talk about some of the artifacts and historical memorabilia that you have here. I mean, this place is just so comfortable, but it's filled with a lot of history. Talk about some of the things that visitors can expect.
Well, when visitors come in, we have very well-trained tour guides who will walk you through a number of narrative stories about the transatlantic slave trade, stories about what enslavement was like in the Bahamas. They will also tell you about black abolitionists who fought for freedom here in the Bahamas. They will mention some of the abolitionists in England as well. There's displays about various ships where you would have had, for example, the Peter Morrell wreck, and others that speaks to a consistent and endemic form of resistance that enslaved persons were engaged in every day, and where opportunities arose to lead large-scale revolts as well. So this is really a number of stories being told through the narration of our well-trained tour guides and curators who have done fantastic work to get us ready for today.
We have a very special guest joining us this morning. This nice gentleman right here joining us on the morning edition. Say hello to our fans out there.
Hi, good morning, and welcome to the Pompey Museum.
Now, he would be the first person you see when you come to the Pompey Museum this morning, and historic value right there.
Yeah, he's dressed in the West Indian Regiment outfit. The West Indian Regiment was formed in 1795, and by 1800 you would have seen them lodged in the barracks at Fort Charlotte. And they basically were enslaved persons who were brought in and commissioned as a regiment to police the colony. And so we have them in this period costume, and we hope that it will incentivize and encourage our visitors to come into the museum.
Now, we only have a few minutes remaining on the broadcast, but I just want to give viewers out there a visual representation of what's here in the Pompey Museum. Let's take a look at this piece right here. Can you explain?
Well, you would have had shackles and coffles that would have been used on enslaved persons, particularly as they were being trekked from the interior of West Africa to the coast. They were shackled together, and they were also shackled individually. And this is really just to show, in the Bahamas, we have this narrative about slavery being better in the Bahamas for some strange reason, but just to illustrate these kind of instruments of torture, and these instruments of shackle and being able to be confined in this way speaks to the horrible ways in which human beings suffered through this period of the transatlantic slave trade. and slavery itself in the Bahamas. And so we have these things, they're shocking, they're disturbing, but they are the reality of our lived experience in the past.
That's right. So a lot of historical value here. Pompey Museum reopening its doors after 2 years of closure, and we will be back here later on today examining and exploring all of these great pieces right here. Morning edition, back after this.
Based tourism supplies almost $50 million in revenue for Androsians every year. These priceless resources will continue to provide renewable benefits for thousands of people for years to come, as long as we take long-term action to preserve what's rightfully ours. The natural environment has played a vital role in our culture and economy for generations. Let's take care of nature, and nature will take care of us.
Well, this past weekend was the homegoing service for our colleague LaDawn Davis' mom over there in Harbor Island. To get there, we had to fly, and everybody knew how the conditions were this weekend.
This past weekend, the weather conditions were not even good enough to go outside. So imagine going in an airplane in this frigid type of weather. Yes, we're playing calm, but boy, it was rough. We were all in the hands of pilot Dario Thompson.
Most important rule is to keep everybody calm first. Advise them so that they can prepare themselves for anything else. And then on your part, don't rush anything. Don't let the plane get ahead of you.
The best part of the flight was the landing. Bumpy ride, but we got there safe. For Thompson, being up in the air must have its advantages.
Well, it's more rewarding for a mental comfort than it is financial. Once my gas leave the ground, I'm free. I'm free from everything that is down here that the regular person goes through every day. It's something I always wanted to do from a young child. I blame my parents for it most of the time. On Sundays, we used to go for Sunday rides and always park up at the airport and just watch the planes take off and land, and a lot of traveling in between.
And it must be taxing flying all day, so many different destinations, so many hours and distances to put in.
Most days, pretty short. I'd say today, for instance, it was 8 hours. Some days maybe 2, some days maybe 3. Now, the time that you lose is when you have to overnight and you're away from your family for a week, maybe 2 days, 3 days. That's affecting after so much time.
And his advice to young persons watching this story and wanting to become a pilot?
I would tell them to strive for what you want. Don't rush it. Don't think it comes overnight. But at some point in time, if you keep going, you keep persevering, you will get it. My time is experience. As long as you get experience, it's going to happen. Don't rush it.
Well, I heard some screams and some shouts and some prayers and everything in my head. But what did you do this weekend? A lot of persons didn't get out in this cold.
No, I just rested. I rested in preparation for this early morning. But how is LaDawn and her family doing?
She's doing good. Can't wait to get it back to work. She's holding strong. And we have some pictures at the end to end with her over there, but we want to continue to keep her in our prayers. ZNS staff, we've lost so much. Keishla has lost her mom, Kelsey lost an uncle, Desmond lost his dad.
It's been a trying time.
It's been Ashley Taylor, Ashley Opal has lost her dad, so we got to keep each other in our prayers. Fern Carey also lost her dad.
So a difficult time for the family here, so keep everyone in prayers. But again, be sure to tune into the ZNS Network for news as it happens, TV and radio updates throughout the day. Then you can tune into the Northern Edition at 6:30 and the Bahamas tonight at 7. Well, that's a wrap for us this morning. Make it a great day, everyone.
We leave you with this. I love you, everybody.